You take us back to the beginning. How did you discover your passion for acting and storytelling?
The beginning would have to be Wild Wild West. I was watching Will Smith's movie when I was 5, and I remember that specific movie for some reason was just the one that was like, oh, I want to be like him. I had these glasses from Burger King that came out. They were like the Wild Wild West glasses. And I remember walking around the house with a cowboy hat on and just pretending to be Jim West. And from there, like it's weird to say that I've always known that I was going to be an actor since that young, but like it was true, like I did. Um, and then after that, I took some acting classes when I was 12, did theater in high school. I auditioned to get into USC for theater going into college. I didn't get in. And then I went to college in Arizona. I ended up dropping out my second year because I knew I wanted to be an actor still. And that's when I moved back to San Francisco, where I'm from, and started pursuing it. So I started doing small commercials here and there, then made my move to LA around like 6 years ago, and kind of just gradually kept, you know, stepping up with each role that I was given an opportunity for.
Yeah, when you look at your career thus far, who or what has had the biggest influence, either personally or professionally?
Influence, I think it's different from when I first started. I think I was really heavily inspired by Will Smith. And then as I started getting deeper into film and even with First Kill, the opportunities I had with this script, I was really inspired by, I think, Jake Gyllenhaal, his ability to really let go as an actor and kind of just be fully free. Like when you watch him in a lot of his movies, like he really goes and pushes the limit. And I mean, it may be my perceived limit for him, but it's like he's always pushing every single time I watch him in something. And I think that inspired me as an actor to just want to be able to go to that place and just be free and not fearful of like how I look, or am I going to be embarrassed on set? Am I going to look crazy trying to like push myself to this level? But yeah, so I think Jake Gyllenhaal is definitely one of my inspirations now as I start to get further into a professional career.
You're talking about getting your start in theater. What's that transition been like for you going from the stage to now the screen?
I think because I've been watching movies since I was a kid, like that was kind of me and my dad's thing, was just we'd watch probably 3 movies a day during the summer. And it ranged from Indiana Jones to James Bond to Requiem for a Dream. And it was just different movies that he had me growing up on that I really had a passion for film. And so it didn't feel really too different. I think that when you watch movies, there are subtle things versus like I remember doing theater and it was kind of just more expressive in a way.
Mhm.
And when you get on screen, you're able to like realize, okay, the camera's really close. It captures everything. It captures the small nuances. And I think just knowing those differences for me was important. Like knowing that, okay, here on the stage, I could do this. And then on camera, you kind of got to, tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, tone it down a little bit. You've had so much success already in your young career. When you look back, is there a particular moment that stands out to you?
I wouldn't say a particular moment, but I would say definitely smaller moments that led to even being here right now with First Kill. I've always said in my mind to not despise small beginnings. So I was always taking every opportunity, whether it was like a one-line co-star. I was like, you know what, I'm getting on set and I want to make the best and just learn from that experience, being in that situation, to getting on set for He's All That and having a smaller part, but then going directly to Australia right after for Young Rock, where I had a bigger opportunity. And then from that going straight to First Kill. So it was like I gradually learned from every single opportunity, no matter how big or small. And I think that just the culmination of all of them, I kind of like learned how to put something together to prepare me for this opportunity with First Kill. So,
Yeah, great answer. There's so much anticipation surrounding First Kill. What can you tell us about the series and what should audiences know about your character?
oh man. Okay, we'll start off with the series. Number one, it's something that we've never seen before. You've got this full black family of vampire hunters. The only black vampire hunter I've ever seen was Blade, and that was
Mhm.
back in 1998. And so this is more than 20 years later. We're finally having a place in this genre where there hasn't been really much space for us. And so now it feels like this is going to be really different. It's going to be fresh. And not only that, you have this love story. You've got the Burns family, who are the hunters, and then you have the Fairmont family, who are the vampires, and you have my little sister and the little sister on that family, and they're both trying to get their first kill, and instead end up what seems like falling for each other, and that creates kind of a mess between the two families because those aren't supposed to work. You know, you got the hunters and the vampires, and
Yeah.
they don't really mix. But yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of great story in this show. For my character specifically, I think my character, I don't want to be biased, but you know, my character is very fun. If I had to give like a direct, I guess, comparison to who my character Apollo is like, I would say he's like the red Ninja Turtle and the orange Ninja Turtle mixed together. So
Mm.
Raphael is the red one who's really about all the action. And
Yeah.
then you got the orange one who loves to eat pizza, loves to mess around. And you mix those two together, add a little bit of Muhammad Ali's confidence in that mix, and you have Apollo. He's fun. He's all about the action, and he's very confident. And I think that when you guys watch it, you're going to see that. So
I love that description. And did you feel any pressure heading into this project, just given how much buzz there is around this particular series and the fact that it already has this dedicated fan base?
yeah, you know, so I didn't know of the short story before I got the audition, but however, I was a fan of The Punisher. Like I love Marvel, and so seeing that Felicia Henderson was the producer, and seeing that James was playing the dad is just kind of like a lot of pressure in that sense of like, okay, you have these great people involved in this story, and then you get the role and it's like, wow, the pressure, you have to kind of rise to the occasion and make sure that you come prepared. And not only that, for me it was like, okay, you're playing a vampire hunter, and if you're not accurately representing what that is, so for me, I was hitting the gym 3 times a day. I was going in the morning, I was going to stunt rehearsals after, and then I was going when I got off set. So I was making sure, I was like, yo, this hunter is going to be the best version and the most authentic, so that when kids watch, they could be like, okay, yeah, I believe that. I believe that this guy could fight a 6 foot vampire or however tall the monsters are in this show. So yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of where the pressure came from.
You were talking about learning earlier. This is the longest that you've lived with a character. Did anything surprise you about the experience? What was the biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I think that growing with the character was probably the biggest thing for me because we were getting the episodes one at a time. So I had no idea what came next. I was kind of like just living episode to episode. And as Apollo was having these feelings about what's going on, Dominic, was having feelings about how do I actually think Apollo would feel about this? And sometimes I agreed, and I was really on par with like where Apollo was. And I think there were only a few instances where I was like, geez, would Apollo really feel this way right now? And I think when you watch the show, you'll probably understand where I'm coming from with no spoilers. But uh, yeah, I think that was the biggest takeaway. It was like, wow, I'm actually growing as a person at the same pace as my character. So that was
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, when the series drops later this year, is there a particular scene or episode that you're really excited for your fans to see?
Uh, you know, I mean, I know that the way shows end, you know, they're kind of like, they're always the peak.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say too much about any of that, but I will say episode one off the bat is pretty fire. Like for me, I love the action. I've been a big fan of action since I was a kid. So being able to be the one that helps kind of bring that to the show and that aspect was so much fun for me. And being able to watch it, like Netflix did an amazing job. I think that like fans are really like in for a treat because I truly enjoyed it. And so being a fan of that genre and then seeing it live up to my expectations or actually exceed them, I think fans are going to love that. So I'm excited for them to see the action. You know, the love story is awesome. I think that's going to be good too. I just, you know, I'm a fan of action. So
Speaking about representation earlier, what has it meant to you to be a part of a project like this that's pushing these inclusive storylines forward?
Yeah, wow. I mean, just when you watch episode one off the bat, there's so much diversity and representation that, like, I truly believe in my heart and soul that there's something for everybody when they're watching the show. So for me to be able to see that, it's amazing to be a part of it. You know, like I said, Wild Wild West was probably one of my favorite movies as a kid because I didn't really see that many black cowboys. So I think that might be a reason why, without even really thinking about it, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I could see myself in that role. So that's probably why as a kid I connected with it more. You know, I don't connect with, I guess, some of the John Wayne movies because I don't look like that. You know, I don't have the swavy hair that I can do that. But Will Smith, he had kind of the same hair. He had the high top. So I think for me to be able to be that for another kid when he's watching this genre, when he's watching this show, and for them to be able to watch this, especially me coming from a mixed family. You know, my dad is black, my mom is Puerto Rican and Mexican. So like being able to just be that representation when you watch the show, knowing that a kid's gonna be able to look up to you and be like, wow, okay, if he can do it, I can be like that too. And so I'm really excited for that.